Hey guys, welcome to the video. Guys, in this video, I just want to explain to you that the world that we live in right now is spiritual, is not what you think it is. For example, I told you guys in another video how the Bible is a guide for you, and you always feel a desire to not read it because the devil is trying to persuade you to go the wrong way. So, in the last 4 days, I've been drinking. I had 18 beers in my house, and then ended up drinking like 4 in one day, 5 in the other, 5 in the other, and I had to drink. I don't even know, but it was like this 4 and then 5, 5, 5, right? The last day I was really drunk, and you shouldn't, of course. And the next day, where I was sober, and I decided I had to finish the beers, and I already have in mind that I don't want to go back to it again. I was reading the Bible finally, because the day where I was so drunk that I don't even remember what I read, to be honest. And I was reading the Bible, and it kept painting a note in that 2 pages that are reading like, you should never get drunk, don't get persuaded by getting drunk and losing the spiritual side, the side that it can only be seen in sobriety. Don't be like the men who think they are courageous for binge drinking and can drink a lot. You will not have the praise of God. You're not going to have the eternal life, heaven, if you are drunk. And this happens to me so many times, where I am having a struggle, and I read the Bible and go strictly directly to the point where I'm facing. When I have a doubt, or I know that I should be doing something, but I'm downplaying it in my mind, the Bible is always there, strictly in that page that I'm gonna read, saying like, don't do that. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, this is a spiritual world. People think that things that happen for a reason. There's no destinies. There's no path that is already written for you to go. That's a total lie. Everything is like that. If you read the Bible, you see that even now what we live, the matrix, so many unjust people, the powerful one being corrupted and satanic, is all happening and been happening. The woman in power, feminism, it was not ever feminist, but it talks in the Bible how when a woman are in power and not the men of the world, that country gets destroyed. And that a lot of what is seen nowadays seems no relationships breaking, people are going against the God's desire, and everything is in the Bible over and over and over. It's the repetition. And it happened to me so many times where I was facing a struggle. In the moment that I go to the Bible and read it, especially talking about that's what I mean when the Spirit is like, is there for you. God is guiding you to the right thing. Like, He will tell you exactly what you need to know. It's not a coincidence that I was binge drinking for a couple of days, and then when I got sober finally, the first thing I read is, yeah, you're not gonna go to heaven if you had these habits of over drinking. You know, is a message, is a strict message exactly for me. And that happens because God puts those who are followers of God, He will put the message right there for you to understand. And you might deny it, but deep down you know it's a message from God. And things doesn't happen on a coincidence. Everything has a reason. Even bad things, a lot of times bad things are a direct punishment for your bad actions. Another time is a way of you to grow. Another time it might be a message. I know that if you read the Bible and you follow it, it's very unlikely for you to get in these bad situations. And a lot of people ain't saved and go and are in suffering because they don't read the Bible, they don't understand that the path they are taking is bad. There's multiple things, from how being promiscuous is bad. The Bible says a lot. You see all these people, men and women, not being able to have relationships now. It says how the woman should marry young, and that's not what happening. Many women are alone right now, unfortunately. It says how you should not drink and you should not have addictions, and you see the path that people who go into that route, what happens to them. It says that God doesn't like the lazy, so every lazy people end up being a bum or a loser, right? Again, if you know it, you should put the work on. You should work out. You should put any or business, everything. Just not be lazy. And God also talks about what happened to the unjust, the consequences, even if you don't see it. How as we human are immensely ignorant, and we think we know a lot, but 100 years is nothing. That's why you see these videos of old people with 100 years trying to give advice, and neither them know really to give any type of good advice, because even if they do and they talk about it, you see you not that great, because 100 years is nothing. The Bible have thousands and thousands and thousands of years where it gets exposed how what happened, what's the same patterns that happen, how the people who are unjust and climb to have money, to have monetary and things, they always go down, they always fall down, they are going to have a horrible path ahead of them. So you always, and also shows how if you misbehave, is going to be a consequences for that. And God can be merciful if you are a good person, if you are towards Him, and spare you. Not that you're not going to be punished, you will, but spare you of making a life lesson, so you don't go back to that patterns. You understand? So a lot of punishment is also a way for you to grow. It's like suffer enough for you to learn that this path is not good. And to be honest, the Bible is the only place that I can remember fully where I grew and learned and respected the learning, because I was a very defiant child, even from forever. Didn't want to hear my parents, didn't want to hear my teachers, I didn't want to hear nobody, you know. Yeah, few people I respected, and had people who want to be my mentors, and I was like, nah, I don't do mentors. And it was only God that I always felt since a child, that always instruct me. And when I misbehave in a highly manner, He punished me hardly. And I was just thinking today about that, how I don't even regret it, the majority of, I don't even regret things that happened to me. Before I was like, years ago, I was like, I will be in such a better mental state if these things didn't happen to me, and my whole life was so hard, blah blah blah, you know, whining, crying, playing the victim. And nowadays it's like I wouldn't be me. The person I am right now. I like it so much, and I feel like I'm such in the right path that I had to go through it all, you know. I had to go through it. Not I could have not suffered so much if I didn't act in an unjust way, if I didn't become arrogant, if I didn't become a bad person at certain point of my life. And that made me pay up uh, for then being a victim, then being in suffering, you know. So also that was a lesson learned, and was in that time that for some reason, I searched for God. I started reading the Bible. I started praying like in a daily basis, and part of me didn't believe it. Big part of me didn't believe it, but I kept going, and then I had a moment when I stopped praying. My life got way worse, and I'm like, wait, this is so related. And I thought I was like, oh, like if I don't succumb to God, He's gonna punish me. But that's not reality. The reality is, if you don't like pray and submit to God, He's not gonna be there to help you. The devil will be there. The people will be there, and you know that's a mess. We, with all this knowledge we have now, how the power-ups are trying to destroy the the people and make us suffer just for the money and just for power, and you see so much injustice and crime and craziness. You know you cannot trust human race for nothing. God is the only one who can literally save you, literally guide you, literally show you the way, and is literally all on the Bible, in the Old Testament, the New one. A lot of you guys don't know because you don't read the Bible, but majority of Jesus' teachings are from the Bible, are in the Bible also, in the Old Testament. That's what I mean. And it's just a book of teachings. It's just a book of teachings. I remember when I first started reading the Old Testament, I thought it was so boring. And now I'm like almost finishing it. I'm like thousand something pages, and I finished on the 1,300. And I just want to finish to go back and read more carefully the Moses story, the beginning, the first the first ancestors that that live, you know, because now that I know this all true, and I'm so more in touch with God in my spiritual side, I really want to know more, because I read the New Testament fully, or the full New Testament, but now I'm rereading it, and it's like I'm reading for the first time, because first time you're just reading to read, you know, to learn, but the second time you're really absorbing and taking the life lessons to your life, understanding that Jesus is really our Savior, was really the one who took out of us from the sin. We are continuous as sinning in a wrong path, and He was the one who mercifully suffered and died for us so we could go to heaven. And He's our mentor, and He teaches the way of being. So you have all the teachings in the New Testament in a few pages, man. In a few pages, like, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. And if you obey that, your life is going to be in the right direction for this life and for the next one, you know. And you praise way more, you understand way more how significant it is, how this world is really spiritual. This all seems very superficial. We all live in the spaces like, I need money to buy food and have clothes, I need a place to live, I need this and that and that, and I have to work a lot, and I'm always stressed out, and I'm always this and that, and I want to have a woman, and maybe you want to have kids, and I would like to have a better car, and I have that car, and I want that car, and I want this house, and I want da da da, and you don't realize that you are going in circles on the devil plan, when this world is literally spiritual. Everything, if you are praying, if you are reading the Bible, you are obeying the law, you are obeying Jesus' teachings, you will see that everything is granted to you, because God gives it all. It also talks in the Bible how in a second, in a spark, God can give you abundance and richness, and that's for God to decide if you are worth of that or not, or if He did the best for you. Guys, I'm being broke for a long time now, and I never been broke before. I came from a suburban um, house. My parents always had high-paying jobs, not rich but high-paying jobs. We uh, live in many places, and I always had the foods that I want to never suffer from that. Had the clothes. I had to share some clothes, but in general, I always have great conditions. You know, many people would love to have that. Always have very secure um, place to live. You know, I had that abundance, and then once I start working, because of that, I was like, oh, I don't like this job, I'm gonna leave it. I don't like this job, I'm gonna leave it. And I got to a state where my parents was not providing for me no more, because because I'm a grown ass man, you know. So I started providing for me, and one of the things was, okay, I'm not getting money, but I have a lot of savings, so I have to not waste money, you know, save it the most that I can. And the way I did that was I was already doing 1 meal a day, but I just thought how perfect it was. 1 meal a day, you waste way less money. And then I was wasting a lot of money buying meat, especially like red meat, beef. And you know, I was spending on that, and I was spending on stupid stuff, things that are not even good for your body a lot. And then I had some heart problems, and I see, because of the red meat, because we're really not made to eat meat, to be honest. And I have made videos about it, but I don't really want to change the subject right now. But I learned that, okay, I'm not gonna eat red meat, so I changed to chicken. Chicken's so much cheaper, guys, so much cheaper. And I started eating like sweet potatoes. And basically where I wanna go is, nowadays I have 1 meal a day. I eat fruits, vegetables, and nuts, you know. And I usually spend maximum 20 something euros on every time I go to the mall, and that goes usually that 20 euros, 20, I would say 20 to 30, because I have to go there either buy water or any other thing that's necessary. I would say 20 to 30 for like a week, you know. It's not a lot, it's not a lot at all. And I learned to, because of being broke, because of being poor, I learned to spend my money wisely. And that's not the take. The take is, I eat way more healthy now than I even have eaten before. Before I ate like what my parents gave me and bullshit, you know. And now, because I didn't have the money, I have to realize, okay, so what's the best thing to spend? And the best thing to spend is the healthy stuff, the vegetables, the fruits, the sweet potatoes, man, the nuts. Is the healthy stuff, is the cheapest stuff, and that's the stuff that will nourish you the more. Like your performance when you work out is the best when you go buy these foods, you know. And what I'm trying to teach you and make you learn is that being broke was a life, I see it at least, a life lesson for God, to me, that I needed to realize what foods are important and how do I should eat and what's the most nourishing thing. Another thing I do believe that God teach me is the power of your nature. For example, the beard, the hair, nails. God didn't give it to you for no reason, you know. A lot of people say, and I do believe that too. Your beard, your hairs are intuition. When people in wars won against a tribe, they made them in certain countries, for example in Asia, they made them shave their beards. Why? Because when you shave your beard, first you look like a kid, and it's like you don't have a protection on you, and you are emasculated, and you feel weaker, and you really feel weaker. And I have moments where I shave my body thinking you look better, and I felt like someone stripped some force out of me, you know. Hairs have way more power than you think, and that's another thing I think God teach me. Be natural, be your. God didn't create you with all these for you to be taking out. It doesn't make no sense. And it's said that the wise are wise because of their big beards, and that's a part of a good intuition and learning, be more masculine. Another thing that is said is like when you have a big beard, you go to your masculine nature, you go to a grown-up nature. So you cannot have a big beard and look yourself and be like, oh yeah, I want to be taken care by my parents. It is pathetic. You are a grown-ass man. So there's many lessons that I could tell you that I learned, but to be honest, I wouldn't even remember, you know. But yeah, reading the Bible, praying, it's just a growth and growth and growth that it just takes you higher. I can only imagine where I'm gonna go in my life, like in 10 years. I don't even know. But at the same time, it doesn't even matter, because as I'm saying, this is a spiritual world. This is not the world that is important. This is just a test world, a test to see if you are deserving of going to heaven or dying for the death, going to hell, you know. That's the real meaning of things. You don't need to. In Jesus teaches how. He even told a parable. We did a story where he says that many will learn about God and His saving, and will believe it and go that way, but because of worries about food, clothes, and this type of necessities, they will stop following Him because they are just too focused on that, you know. And Jesus teaches how you don't need to worry about it, how if the birds have a resource to live, you think humans, His image, that we are His image, He will not provide for us? Of course He will. So that's something that eases me up, and every time I start worrying and thinking about the money, thinking about having to have a job, thinking about if I'm growing here, to start monetizing, the more I read the Bible, the more I pray, I remember that that's all illusions. That's literally all illusions. Like, God will not let you fall if you are obeying the law, obey His teachings, obeying the way you should behave in His regards. And me doing that, being celibate, semen retention, of course I don't masturbate, I don't do any of these dirty ass things, lack of self-respect things. Stop drinking right now. I don't smoke a long time. I'm praying every day, more than once. I'm reading the Bible more than once. And when I see a poor asking for change, I give him change, you know. And that's another thing that he speak, that you're not going to have gifts and fruits if you don't help others. So life is spiritual, guys. This is just a test. Don't worry that is about these mundane things. Trust in God, but follow His way, what He wants you to do. Don't be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna trust in God, but I'm not gonna pray. I'm not gonna talk with Him. I'm not gonna, not even talk. Also worship and ask for things. The pray Our Father for me is the best. Jesus told us that that's the pray to pray. So I think it should be mandatory to everybody to pray that. And if you're not praying on a daily basis, if you are not reading the Bible, you're gonna get lost. You're gonna get lost easy. So focus on that and working out or doing whatever the work you do. Don't be lazy. God doesn't like the lazy. I always say working out because your body is made to move, and the way you feel so good when you have a good workout, a good pump, is because that's how your body was created, to bring you that endorphins and THC, yeah, I think it is that, good hormones for you, you know, and also fast in a type of way, not only one meal a day, which is the healthiest thing you can ever do because you activate human growth hormone, ketosis, and autophagy, which are great hormones for your youthness and like a immune system. But also fast like a full day if you can. No, I'm not saying every day, not saying every week, but when you can. Uh, and that's something I suffer, but I also try to do it, and I do it from time to time, and that's important because Jesus teaches that praying and fasting is something that God will praise you for that, and you will be rewarded for that. So remember this, remember all these, remember this world is spiritual. If you focus on this, on God, if you focus on the spiritual side, everything is given to you. Don't need to worry. The devil will try to mislead you and misguide you and manipulate you to think that, oh no, stop focusing on God, stop focusing on being a good person, a just person, or a giving person, because that won't pay the bread of the day, and he will try to do everything to make you go out of that path. But that's the right path, and that's the path where you really want to go to grow and to become somebody who are deserving of the realm of heaven, you know. So that's the message for today. Long video, very important one. And I hadn't done a talking video for a while, but I'm more on the fitness side, which is also important, and it's great workouts. But yeah, here it is. It is good message that I wanted to share to you. I felt the need to share to you, and I hope you grow with it. See you guys.